Ghost Rider was recently shown off with a very unique team of Loki, Blade, and of course the talking point of today, Deadpool. Deadpool comes in and he seems to be an all-rounder archetype, or maybe a bit more of a rushdown. He comes in with so much love and reference towards the FGC, all of his culture mixed into his move list, and of course everything he references. Honestly puts the UMVC version to shame, despite the fact I think that's a good iteration of Deadpool. I think it only really honors Capcom and all of its stuff there. Whereas Marvel Tokon is an absolute love letter to the FGC. Today's video, I'm going to go over every single reference I was able to find throughout the trailer, and of course everything I was able to see in the Twitter. Let's get into it by getting started with this channel's main stake, Guilty Gear. To start the trailer off, what does he do? The jackal pose. Brother has got his ass sticking out, and it's a clear reference. He even says the line of dialogue, what do you think about this pose? And kicking it to the next one, we actually have a Faust pose during his Roman cancel. In this Roman cancel, he's doing one of Faust's poses from Xrd, I believe. I can't remember what pose it is exactly, but an absolute Faust reference indeed. And then later on we get to see three back-to-back that you'll recognize. The Totsugeki on his super, obviously Maze Dolphin, into the Volcaniku Viper, as Mrs. Deadpool links it into Jam's Ryujin kick. We're going to show a ton of love to Guilty Gear and a lot of ArcSys projects, considering this is an ArcSys made fighting game, and I quite like that. They've got to show a little bit of love to their own creations. One thing you do absolutely need to show love to is where you came from. Deadpool's first fighting game iteration was of course in Marvel vs. Capcom, so of course they're going to reference it as well. As he throws this projectile, this is a direct reference to King Arthur's projectile toss, with the exact same animation in the same way he tosses up his leg. And he obviously references one of the most iconic things about Marvel vs. Capcom, foot dive. It's so important that foot dive is in this game in some type of way. It's a shame it's not on Doctor Doom, but it's cool to be there. I'm not gonna lie, just the idea of that legacy being in another tag fighter through Deadpool is amazing. Heading to another Arc System Works project that they worked on, Dragon Ball FighterZ, you see this reference to Vegeta's Ki Blast. For anyone that doesn't know, Vegeta's Ki Blast is probably the most iconic assist from that game, as day one this was known as the assist that you had to use. Vegeta was pretty alright in general, but he wanted this assist without a doubt, so referencing this is a nice nod to FighterZ. What does he do when he comes into the screen? He does the Ginyu pose, ass out and everything. It's quite funny that they're referencing the Ginyu pose and kind of the assemble stuff that he does with the squad, but I don't think it's the same there. I really don't, but it's cool to see that. I'm just shocked that they reference FighterZ at all, if I'm honest. You've got to head to the nitty and gritty for one of the premier fighting games of the old ages, Mortal Kombat. They reference Mortal Kombat quite the bit throughout this trailer. First off is the get over here. He yoinks them in and does the uppercut, and then it's followed by the head takeoff fatality that Scorpion does, where he'll take off the mask and then burn them alive. Except here, it's more like it's a big explosion, and he even does like the assy pose that they do, the little A pose that they do after a fatality. Absolutely love it. And it looks like his throw, I don't know if it's command grab or a normal throw, is the Johnny Cage nut shot as he does the splits and punches them in the balls. Not what I expected, but it's pretty awesome to see all this. Like, again, they're showing love to Mortal Kombat, which I didn't think they would, considering that they're an Eastern dev team, but seeing that, it just shows how much they want to show love to all of these fighting games. This bit here is mostly references to other fighting games, because they didn't really do groups for these, it was just like one off for all of them. They got the scrap PlayStation mascot as his item, which I thought was a mad reference. I'm like, is that even a good one? I understand that fighting games are going through a golden age during the 90s, so it makes sense they kind of reference that, but a scrapped icon? I don't know, it feels weird. Maybe he's got more items up his sleeve. And of course he has Yoshimitsu's seppuku, where he'll stab his stomach to hurt the opponent. I saw some say this looks like Bridget 6H because he's kind of hitting them with his ass as he goes flying up, but it's definitely a Yoshimitsu reference without a doubt. I think this makes the most sense. His run animation is the Naruto run, which is quite funny. I'm not too sure if that's an FGC reference, but I do like the inclusion. It's funny, it suits the mood of the game, it's dead anime. It makes sense. And looking at this DP move where he does like a bunch of twirls to attack his opponent, you could say this is Rashid DP. It looks very similar in motion, but it could be something else. But this was the main thing that was coming to my head, because I swear I've seen this twirl style DP on Twin Swords before, but I can't tell who it is. Now this last bit is interesting. We're going to be talking about Japanese Deadpool. For anybody that doesn't know, Japanese Deadpool is voiced by the same voice actor as Dio. Over in Japan, this guy actually voices Deadpool on a lot of projects for dubs. And for anyone that also doesn't know, the same voice actor voices Zato in Guilty Gear Strive, so this isn't his first time working with a project to do with Arc System Works. So I wonder what he does for his voice lines, right? On the Roman cancel, he'll say this. Romantic! Romantic. For anybody that doesn't know, back in the previous versions of Guilty Gear like Accent Core, they used to say romantic on the Roman cancel. So I quite like this nod to the Roman cancel. It's not maybe any form of other Roman cancel, it's supposed to be a reference to Accent Core and then the slowdown of like Guilty Gear Strive. And then when he does the thing where he throws the items that said random bullshit go in the dub, in the Japanese he actually says is a massive reference to Fast from Guilty Gear, as that's what he says during his item toss super. And the fact that Zato's voice actor is referencing a fast move is it's a nice little nod, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of brings a little bit of heartwarming to me. And when he sends his head DP assist, he says Kawabunga, which is an obvious reference to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which has had a fighting game history. Surprisingly, I just didn't think they'd mention it for the Japanese voice actor. You'll also say this, which, you know, Dio's voice actor, I wonder why he's saying that. These were all the references that I could find looking at his toolkit. You could probably find so much more if you sit there and really study it. So what's the point of this? What's the point of talking about all these references? It's to show that Deadpool is an absolute love letter to the FGC. To anime fighting games or tag fighting games, but to the FGC, as all of these moves reference every type of fighter. You've got 3D fighters, you've got anime fighters, you've got tag fighters, you've got your fundamental fighters possibly, because I'm not too sure about that Rashid one. You've even got random references to retro fighting games. So it feels like they really did their homework for this. This is supposed to be like, we love the FGC, and Deadpool is supposed to be exactly that. He refers to himself as the FGC's favourite. Using his fourth wall breaking ability, it just makes so much sense to give this type of toolkit to Deadpool. I quite like the attention to detail and the love. Arc System Works are insanely good at creating characters both design wise and character gameplay wise, to the point where you can understand everything about them and how much detail these fellas really put into their characters. Now, does it sound like I'm glazing Arc System Works a little bit considering I'm a part of the Team Arc Creator program? Absolutely, but why do you think I'm a part of the program? Because I've already had these thoughts in the first place. If I was to say what is the best thing about Marvel Tokon, I'd probably say Deadpool's inclusion and his love towards this genre. And I'm so curious what the rest of his toolkit's going to look like, because we've only seen one assist, and we've seen quite a lot of specials, but he could have so much more in the bag. And what could his finale animation be during the Marvel Tokon Assemble super move? I think Deadpool is going to be one of the most popular characters on launch without a doubt, just due to his toolkit and how much people love Deadpool. That's it in terms of talking about Deadpool and his impact on the FGC and just the attention to detail. I'm in love. I'm absolutely in love with what they've done with Deadpool. Will I play him? Not really, but I will probably make some videos on other trailers and other character breakdowns to kind of break it down to you, how they're going to play and how they're going to act, how I like their inclusion. For example, this is Blade's first ever fighting game. One of the characters with the easiest move list to turn into a fighting game character, considering he's got guns, swords, and you name it, and he has never been in a fighting game until 2026. That is fucking shocking. And it took until ArcSys to do it. I may get a video. That might do. That's it. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, hype, sub, and tell me what references are your favourite from Deadpool and which ones did you notice that I haven't. I'd love to see. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.